Welcome to the second edition of Tucker Carlson Tonight, the show that is the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink. Well, Donald Trump won the election a week ago tonight, but a growing number of his opponents insist it's not over. Across social media this week, and particularly on Facebook, there are suggestions that in the next few months, the results of this election could be undone by some technical means, giving the presidency to somebody else come January. Preposterous, you say? A THC-infused fever dream of the wacko Bernie left? One of the many things your kids' teachers have been telling them lately that isn't quite true? Not entirely, actually.
I'm sorry, Hillary. You were robbed.
She's only president because of a stupid idea from the 1700s that was meant to appease people in the rural South and these slave states.
Hopefully that the Electoral College will hear us and go with the popular vote, which Hillary clearly won.
The true democracy is who wins the popular vote.
Hillary got the most votes. You know, democracy, one person, one vote must stand. The Electoral College must end.
I'm protesting the Electoral College because Donald Trump did not have the popular vote.
The majority of Americans wanted Hillary Clinton, not Donald Trump. More people wanted her than him.
He may have gotten the electorals, but she still has the popular vote, and we the people don't have a voice.
So not everybody thinks the results are legitimate, and among those who still believe that Trump could lose this election are some electors. Those are the Americans charged with choosing our next president in the Electoral College. We're going to talk to at least one of them tomorrow, I think. But others are demanding the Electoral College itself be abolished. Is that possible even, and is it a good idea? Joining us now is Dr. John Gilmore. He's thought about this a lot. He's a professor of government and public policy at the College of William and Mary in Virginia. Professor, it's great to see you tonight.
It's good to be here.
So first to the rumors that are floating around on social media, and they're ubiquitous. I got a note from one of my children about them last night. Is it possible at this late date for the Electoral College to somehow take the presidency away from Trump?
Well, it's possible in a technical sense, in that the electors are mostly free to vote for anybody they want to once they get to cast their vote as an elector. But they won't do that because the Republican electors who are supporting Trump are Republican donors, they're activists, they're people who spent years working for the Republican cause. So for them to get there to the Electoral College and cast their vote for Hillary Clinton or somebody else is just about inconceivable. Then in some states it's actually illegal, where they're actually required by state law.
So it's not going to happen. I wonder, though, just as an American, what do you think the message of people talking about that possibility is to the people who voted for Trump?
Well, I think those people are just really disappointed, and this is their way of working through disappointment.
But in so doing, aren't they also sending a really clear message? We don't care about you, your issues, the election results. We're willing to subvert democracy because we don't like the result?
They are, I don't know if they're subverting democracy, but they're definitely disappointed. I think they would be happy to undermine the legitimacy of Trump's election.
Yes.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do, and say if he is sworn in as president, he's not really a legitimate president.
So you say that the Electoral College itself ought to be abolished. Why?
Well, there are two main problems with it. One of them is that you get the situation like this, where one candidate wins the popular vote.
Right.
And it looks like Hillary Clinton is likely to win with a margin of about 1.5 million votes, a lot more than Al Gore got in 2000. But Donald Trump has a substantial lead in the Electoral College vote, and that's just difficult to explain. It's difficult to explain to people why the candidate who won the popular vote isn't going to be the president.
Well, because it's happened pretty recently, 16 years ago, we're all kind of familiar with this, and we knew that going in, correct?
That's right. And there's a second reason why the Electoral College isn't good. There are actually a number of them, but the second most important one, I think, is that it means that candidates aren't competing for much of the country. So states like California, Texas, Illinois, New York, New Jersey are completely off limits for the candidates. At one point, Trump went and staged some campaign events in Mississippi and Texas, and people were making fun of him for doing that because everybody knew that he was going to win those states. Why campaign there? So I think it would be much better to have a system.
But isn't the opposite true? I mean, if the popular vote were all that mattered, then the population centers would be the only places that anyone campaigned or paid attention to. And yet, you know, our cities are the places where all the jobs are, all the money is, you know, all the prosperity is, and the rest of the country has nothing, and you're suggesting taking the one thing they have left, which is political power, away from them.
Well, actually, candidates already campaign in plenty of places that aren't big cities.
Because they have to, because the Electoral College.
Yeah. So I don't think it would make that big a difference in where they campaign.
But if you took that away, why would I ever leave Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles, ever?
Because there are plenty of votes in Dallas and Houston as well. And in Midland, Texas as well. There are votes all over the place.
But they're also, you know, there's a big country out there between Georgetown and Malibu, that great dark space we never visit from Washington. I mean, all of those people would be ignored, no?
Well, they wouldn't be ignored, but more attention would be focused on cities, but that's where people are. And I think it's important for candidates to campaign in front of people. Everybody's vote counts. And under the current way we elect presidents, a lot of people practically don't exist for the election. Huge states that we know are going to go for one party or the other are completely ignored by the candidates. And I think that's unfortunate.
So you're saying that, like, sophisticated, affluent, coastal culture doesn't get enough attention in our society? Is that what you're saying?
Not in the elections.
Not in the election, okay. So but we're just not paying enough attention to Barbara Streisand and her friends?
She gets plenty of attention.
She gets plenty. Well, on that we agree. Professor, it's great to see you tonight. Thanks a lot for coming.
You're welcome.